Check the mic, we're going live. Stories told, they rise and dive. Topics fresh with every spin. You won't guess what's coming in. Every week a new surprise. Minds awake, never lies. Conversations bold and free. Tune in now, just wait and see. This podcast is uncalled for. Catch us here, there's so much more. Laughs and tales you can't ignore. A journey that will leave you floored. In the night or in the day, just press play, we're on our way. Voices sharp, opinions bright, talking through the day and night. Guests and hosts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Let's talk college realignment and its effects on smaller school conferences and potentially the death of one of those conferences. So we got the tournament going on right now as we're speaking. We're in the Sweet 16. My bracket looks like shit. All right, got 4 right out of the 16. And of those, all 16 are in the big conferences, the ACC, the SEC, Big 10, Big 12. 7 in the SEC alone. And that is bizarre to me. They knocked out all the mid-majors. For those who aren't familiar with college basketball, certainly D1 college basketball, the term mid-major refers to any school or conference outside of the big boys. Yeah, technically, those conferences, there are 31 total. Actually 32, but I'll get to probably 31 soon. All because of this conference realignment centered around football. Right? Never mind the other sports. Never mind that it now makes no goddamn sense geographically. The Pac-12 was a victim of all this football greed, and that helped kick off possibly the death of another conference all together. So what happened? The Big Ten, which is predominantly a Midwestern conference, decided, let's pick up USC and UCLA. Oh, and while we're at it, we're also going to poach Oregon and Washington. So you have 4 schools on the West Coast and the rest in the mostly the Midwest, and a little in the Northeast too, with Rutgers and Penn State and Maryland. And then we also had the Big 12, which is also predominantly a Midwestern conference with Texas. And also geographically challenged. I mean, you kind of made West Virginia make sense when you brought in Cincinnati, but Central Florida, no, that makes no goddamn sense. They poach from the Pac-12. Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. That's reuniting Utah with BYU. And then lastly, you had Cal and Stanford, both the Bay Area schools. Going to the ACC, these 2 Pacific Coast schools joining the Atlantic Coast Conference. Makes no goddamn sense. The ACC, of course, started off as a Southern Conference, and now pretty much run the entire length of the Atlantic coast. So Boston College, Syracuse, Pitt, formerly Maryland, but then you start to explain Louisville and Notre Dame for non-football, and bringing in Southern Methodists in Texas. So we've reached a point where college sports makes no goddamn sense in the big conferences, and it has a knock-on effect on the smaller conferences, and that brings us to, well, what's left of the Pac 12 with Oregon State and Washington State. So they, to their credit, decided, yeah, we're going to stick with it and keep this conference going somehow. And we're going to start inviting some high-level mid-majors to join us. So, starting in 2026, recording this in 2025, so it'll be another year before this actually happens. They are bringing in San Diego State, Fresno State, Colorado State, Utah State, Boise State, and Gonzaga. The funny thing is that brings them up to 8, which is the minimum you need for a conference. Excuse me. But Gonzaga, that makes sense geographically, Spokane, Washington, but they don't have a football team. So they still need to find another school to field football. But like I said, this is having a knock-on effect on smaller conferences, and we may wind up losing a conference altogether, one that is quite historic and involves a lot of the schools that we've talked about so far. That conference, of course, is the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference, which over its entire existence have had quite a few schools, 43 schools total, and I should point out all of them are still Division I to this day, and most of them can be classed as mid-majors, and some of them are major schools. All right. Before I read the article, I'll just go over the lists of schools that we're talking about here. So the current March 25, 2025, the current alignment of the Western Athletic Conference, the WAC, is such. Abilene Christian University in Texas, California Baptist, California, I think that's obvious. Grand Canyon University, you may have seen the ads on YouTube. They are out of Phoenix, Arizona. Seattle University, I think that's obvious. Southern Utah University out of Cedar City, Utah, in southern Utah. Tarleton State, I believe that's a Texas school, too. UT Arlington, Texas. Utah Tech, which is in St. George, Utah. That's even further south than southern Utah. Also the home of the first LDS temple that's actually operating. And Utah Valley, I think they're in Orem, Utah. So that's the current alignment. Here's the schools that used to be in the WAC, and if some of them sound like, well, the Mountain West. Well, the Mountain West was spun off from the WAC. So here we go. We have Air Force. We have Arizona. They're now in the Big 12. Arizona State, also in the Big 12. Boise State, you just heard me say they're Pac-12 bound. BYU, also in the Big 12, now. Cal State Bakersfield. They are elsewhere. Fresno State. We are established there. Going to the Pac-12. Chicago State. Oh, wait a minute. What's Chicago doing there? Well, Chicago State represents the easternmost reach all time of this particular league. Colorado State, you heard me talk about earlier, going to the Pac-12. Denver, currently in the Summit League. Hawaii, stop saying Hawaii in there. Idaho makes sense. And we come to the school that's piqued my interest in covering this. UMKC. Yes, we were at one point a WAC school. In fact, our only college basketball postseason experience came as a WAC school. Also on this list of interest to me, Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas, the alma mater of both my parents, was at one point in the WAC. Louisiana Tech, Terry Bradshaw's alma mater. UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas was here. University of Nevada at Reno. New Mexico State, Rice University in Houston. San Diego State, Pac-12 bound. Sam Houston State, which is in Texas. San Jose State, SMU, Southern Methodist University in the ACC. Again, makes no geographic sense. Steve F. Austin State University, Nacogdoches, Texas. The bus that connects Longview to Houston, if you travel by Amtrak to Houston, will stop not too far from this campus. TCU, Texas Christian University in the Big 12. UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso, and there's another family tie there. One of my distant cousins played football there, and we have his jersey framed at the house. UTRGV, University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. All right, I believe we used to play there, and I believe Justin Leathers, the former Johnson County Cavalier, wound up there. UT San Antonio, Texas State, the alma mater of LBJ. Tulsa, Utah, now in the Big 12. So a lot of Big 12 schools were at one point WAC schools. Utah State, Pac-12 bound, and the team that beat us in our only basketball postseason, Wyoming. So that's an impressive list of schools to play in that conference, and it's sad that it's gone away. Unless they poach schools from Division II, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but that would have to be the only way that this conference stays intact. And nothing wrong with it, because schools come up all the time from D2, D3 even, St. Thomas, and the NAIA. Look at you, Lindenwood, now to Division I. But, yeah, certainly caught the attention of at least one writer. So this was the SB Nation site, Mid-Major Madness. This article was written by Lance Hartzler on February 27, 2025, and is entitled WAC Hits by Conference Realignment Again. Matt Brown reports that Southern Utah Cal Baptist and Utah Valley are eyeing exits from the much maligned league. Another day in conference realignment, another chance for the Western Athletic Conference to implode. Feels like deja vu, to tell you the truth. The WAC can't hold on to the teams it brought in via the great WAC expansion of the late 2010s and early 2020s, or any of the teams that brought up from the non-D1 ranks. On Tuesday morning, Matt Brown confirmed some reports in his Extra Points newsletter. Go subscribe. Matt does awesome work. That the Big West is set to formally vote on the idea of inviting Cal Baptist and Utah Valley, and that Southern Utah is looking for a way out of the conference. Brown confirmed reports from early February that the Big West was looking towards the WAC schools after losing UC Davis and Hawaii to the new look Mountain West. Brown noted a key distinction in voting on the teams versus actually inviting. Per Brown, the Big West seems more enthusiastic about inviting Utah Valley, a departure from the league's Cal-centric membership, and that there could be reservations about Cal Baptist, which could be because of its status as a private non-UC school. Utah Valley was added to the WAC in 2013, I think the same time as UMKC was, while Cal Baptist joined in 2018. Utah Valley and potentially backtrack. Southern Utah and potentially Utah Tech could be on the move to the Summit League per A reports, as well as partial members. So about that, when I was at UMKC, we were in the Mid-Continent Conference, which became the Summit League after I graduated. And one of our rivals in that conference was, in fact, Southern Utah. In fact, I have a funny security story. Well, funny on my end. Not sure about the kids, but one night doing security at the 4 Points, which no longer stands, by the way, got torn down. And the most odd-looking hill there now at the Art Museum's stop with the streetcar extension. Utah Valley was actually staying at the hotel that night, having just played the Rouge, and one of the players comes down with a unpopped bag of popcorn, and I agreed to help him out, and wind up burning the popcorn, not intentionally. To me, it was kind of funny. So yeah, let's continue with the article. There's a tweet here. Dom Izzo. Mike has been on this for about a year. I was told that it's likely Southern Utah and Utah Tech will be added to the Summit League soon. League would be at 11 schools, which is still not ideal. Those schools' football programs will remain in the UAC. Southern Utah bolted from the Big Sky in 22, while Utah Tech joined in 2020. By the way, the current setup of the Summit League is, yes, UMKC, Oral Roberts, Denver, University of Nebraska Omaha, South Dakota, South Dakota State, North Dakota, North Dakota States, and St. Thomas, which is in Minneapolis. So that would indeed bring us to 11. So we'll need to find one more to even it at 12. The WAC had the makings of an honest-to-God good mid-major league helmed by New Mexico State, now in Conference USA, Grand Canyon, bound for the Mountain West, Abilene Christian, still there, Utah Valley, Big West, and Cal Baptist, Big West. Now the WAC looks a little empty in the coming years. The WAC only has the following teams as members, for now at least: Tarleton State, UT, Arlington, and Abilene Christian, 3 Texas schools. And ACU was one of the founding members of the historic WAC expansion. I am genuinely flabbergasted about where the conference goes from here if the move pans out. The WAC have been decimated a number of times since its inception in 1962, has tried to rebuild itself over and over, from starting off with current BYU, Arizona State, Big 12, to former Hawaii, Boise State, and Idaho, and to whatever the last amalgamation looked. The WAC has taken on different identities the past 60 years. Well, the 43 different schools, but that identity is non-existent, or at the least unclear what it might be. Maybe, and I'm sorry to write this, it might be time to let the dream go. So if that is the case, rest in peace to the Western Athletic Conference. Maybe those Texas schools get picked up by the Southland. We'll see. But I think that's going to do it for this edition. Really screwed up what's going on with Division I college athletics, all in the name of football. And it almost murder death the Big 12, but they're about to do a Jesus-like thing in the coming years, being like Sam Kinison talking about how Jesus was never married. Not that it ruined your weekend or anything, but the Pac-12 was dead. Just that you fucking bitch, I was dead. I think we'll leave it at that, so we'll talk again soon. This podcast is Uncalled For. It's hosted, produced, and edited by myself, Mike Chernevsky. Our opening music is This Podcast is Uncalled For theme, created at suno.com, suno.com. Our outro music is Insightful Horizons.mp3 by Dennis Brodowski. Licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License.
Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.